What up, Sonny? I'm just gonna wait for Nick to join in here. See what his thoughts are. He was getting a lot more bullish, just like me. So we'll see what he thinks on the short-term time frame. I just think this uptrend is still intact here. Now instead of this looks like a symmetrical triangle. Disrupt your Zcash gains, nice. What are my thoughts on this madness? I was talking about it before, but honestly, it's really crazy. My thoughts are that one, there's really not that much bid side liquidity in most altcoins. I mean, it's so fragmented. There's so many coins. And every coin basically has these perp decks, gambling, insane high leverage casinos built on them. So it's like the order books, even though funding rates and open interest wasn't high for each individual altcoin, with all these cross margin trading that's happening where you can leverage basically any token. I guess that was enough to basically delete all the order books on a pretty shallow sell-off in Bitcoin. There was a lot of leverage. I mean, $20 billion, that's a lot. Biggest in history by 10x. It's just, I think all these coins are, well, Litecoin specifically, it's so illiquid on the ask side, but also the bid side too. So it can move sharply in both directions. But getting this type of move with no external identifiable catalyst is crazy. Right, the only other two times we saw were during COVID, like global lockdowns, and one of the biggest exchanges going bankrupt, FTX. Those make sense. This is insane. I know people are saying it's not that. A lot of people are saying it's not anything compared to COVID. I think it's way worse.
Maximalism died. You just never held the funeral.
I don't see Nick. He said he was ready.
They said it was slow. It's the opposite. Said it was dead. It's the opposite. Called it a copy. It's the opposite. Said no one used it. It's the opposite. They said BTC was scale. It's the opposite. Said fees don't matter. It's the opposite. Said store value, but no one trades. Now Litecoin clears what Bitcoin weighs. They say it's done. It's the opposite. Say it's weak. It's the opposite. Say it's gone. It's the opposite. Look again. It's the opposite. They call it boring. It's the opposite. Called it forgotten. It's the opposite. You laughed in 20.
Oh, I see in here now. Let me your mic. Okay. Yo, I can hear you now. How's it going?
It's been better, but it's overall, I mean, seeing all the stories on X, like, it could be way worse, so.
Yeah. Relative to everyone else, I feel okay, but it's insane to me. Here, I'll add you to the scene first.
CRV is what's really hitting me, because that one didn't really recover. Well, I don't know. At least in Coinbase, I didn't see it pretty much didn't wick. It just bodied. And then I've seen some other charts, I think, from people charting CRV in different exchanges, and I think it wicked harder. So I'm not sure, like, I'm technically up on both still,
but yeah, it's rough. Okay, I've got.
Yeah, I pretty much round tripped a lot of games.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, it's super frustrating. Like, again, had relative strength against the market, and again we have this. What doesn't even really. I can't even comprehend what really happened, because previous instances of massive, like, liquidations happened on some global catalyst. Like last summer, it was unwind of, like, the Japanese carry trade, and the Bank of Japan was having problems, and it was like this global sell-off in equities and in crypto. Then we had FTX, which makes sense, right? One of the biggest heavily promoted exchanges, tons of volume collapses. And we had COVID with global lockdowns, and all those were far less in total liquidations than what just happened here. It's like 10x the size.
Yeah, and it's primarily alts.
Yeah.
Which is,
Where,
I mean, I guess the speculation is there's
yeah,
reasoning behind it, but
there's way more leverage in Bitcoin itself, and the open interest and funding rates on the individual, at least for Litecoin, wasn't that high. It was way lower than where it had been at previous highs, and funding rates are, like, below neutral.
well, I guess it's just the books weren't as thin.
Yeah,
I don't know what else it would have been.
I think it is. Just there's not much bid side liquidity there because it's so spread out over, like, hundreds of altcoins.
Or there was somewhat the theory that basically it was, I don't know what it was. People were leveraging their money, or exchanges were, leveraging their money in different altcoins to fund other things.
Yeah, it could have been that. I mean, there's, like, most of the dexes are just like pyramids stacked on top of, it's like leverage stacked on top of leverage. That's why like I was always saying, like, until credit layers are built out for real productive things, I think they always are just bound to collapse. And there's so much competition with all these dex tools that are just building more speculation, that they're always scary to me. So, like, the CRV stuff, I don't know. I was always scared of that, but it's weird that it affected some major altcoins like Litecoin. There's not much isolated leverage, but I guess maybe a lot of people held Litecoin, or there was enough and not enough bid side liquidity to push it down. But Zcash held up, and it's like,
Yeah, no, that's where people are talking about the market maker, or whatever market makers that are running Zcash, and saying, like, who the hell is that? Because they held up fine.
yeah, and it was super over leveraged. There's so much open interest on Zcash itself. It was, like, way higher than previous highs, where, we had crashes in Zcash, and it would always, like, underperform the market and tank more than everything else. There's like 5 times more open interest now than there was back then at previous highs, and somehow it held up. Maybe just because it had enough momentum and a lot of people were setting bids to buy any pullback, that it held up, and then that strength led to more bidding. I don't know. it's weird that this happened. It just makes no. It's 5 minutes after the market closes too, like after CME closed.
Dude, that was extremely weird. Like, I was checking. What was that? Oh, I think I looked at my P&L when we started moving down. I started looking at my positions, and then how, like, the rate of descent reminded me. I haven't felt anything like that since I used to trade pump and dumps, like 15 years ago or whatever it was. Like, I haven't to look at it like and refresh it, and the percentage it was dropping, how fast it was nuts. And crypto wise, the only um, dump I've been in is the FTX one, which at least I'm pretty sure that was near the lows, that like marked the lows. Um, that was
Yeah.
painful, but it was like it wasn't like, say, with Litecoin where we're about to break out of a range
Yep.
and then just it's really insane. Like, it's we joke around about it, but it's like we really should just be using it as alpha, because every time we get the opportunity to do something great with Litecoin price action, we just get absolutely shitted on.
Yeah, I know. And had it broken out, like if this happened a week later or something, like when I was able to clear this, I'm sure it would have held up like Zcash.
It
It
can't
did.
be. It's just like it can't be a coincidence that every time we're about to do it, something happens. And I don't have a conspiracy like, oh, they're trying to compress Litecoin or whatever or anything like that, but it does seem like for whatever reason the volume flows in for like a late pump before the dump in the overall market a lot lately.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Like,
been
why?
happening
It has a
for,
reputation of it.
yeah, I know.
Like, what causes that?
I I honestly don't know. But it is weird. I just think about everything that's happened since 2019. Uh, like Novogratz's Galaxy Digital trying to borrow as much Litecoin as possible from miners,
Right now,
exchanges. No, they did that like 2019, and then we
dude,
had the biggest dump from miners ever historically, like
the
against.
crazy push to get everyone trade uh to trade on leverage, like perps, like the crazy push that we had right before by major exchanges, like
Yeah,
Coinbase pumping up their leverage for offshore, um, the early last month, um, the hyper liquid, like all the different, well, right before the flush. And like, I guess the one thing I was going to show you is I drew this out last time we were talking on stream,
yep,
and I just drew it because we were just sitting there. And then I actually seen the chart, someone else pull up and draw the same thing. And then last night, me and 10,000 other people were watching what is it? Into the Cryptoverse.
oh yeah,
He had a stream, and I was watching that, and he had a similar chart, but funny enough, like, I don't know how he did it. I don't know if he has special stuff to do it, but he basically compared, he had the Bitcoin dominance minus stables or USDC or USDT, and then he added minus USDC, and basically he actually met his target when he put all his stables in, because he basically was calling for majority of or the alt market basically to reach like 0.25 on the ratio
mhm,
of alt. I think it's alts versus Bitcoin, excluding stables, and we tagged it perfectly and bounced. And then he technically was saying that if how he originally was planning it was not minus USDC as well, and then there'd still be lower to go. But I drew out this chart, and I really didn't think about it. And I guess I should have, because that kind of quick rise into that kind of quick rise that this chart was technically calling for, even though it's the monthly chart, I just didn't comprehend what that would do to altcoins.
Yeah, I thought it could have been driven by a Bitcoin breakout, and altcoins just don't do anything, or liquidity gets sucked in because of Bitcoin's strength. But I didn't think it happened this way for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. It did tag it, so I mean, literally everyone was destroyed. It's the biggest liquidation event in history. So I don't know how
Yeah,
they can go
they
from.
literally. I mean, they literally wiped the books, right? And then quite a few people. There was one guy who had a good explanation on Twitter talking about. It was leading up to it. I think it was that day and the day before, yesterday or the day before, where he was talking about how he's never seen so much open interest build up across all alts, and how there needed to be a flush, and how people should be careful. And they absolutely wiped the books.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will look at that and they'll say like that needs to be done, and that usually is what causes an alt run. But I mean, if because it really does seem like it's one or two options. Like either this is it, and we're absolutely about to get crushed, and alts are going to trend towards zero, or that was it, that was the flush, and now we can get our similar burst like we did in 2020. But if that's truly what happens, like if that's truly what it takes to get us to push, I think it's so disgusting
Yeah.
having to be a holder of altcoins and to go through this. Like we better, if we do get it, it's like we deserve a disgusting run. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, I know. I
But if
agree.
you think about it, like if the books are wiped, where they certainly are, it's like we wiped the slate clean. And if we were to start the run, it'd be we're set up as good as we'd ever be for it. But
Yeah.
it's really hard to imagine. And I don't see many people calling it. This is the first time I've ever seen. I don't follow him that closely. I follow him when I realize I should be following him, which happens every once in a while. And this is the closest thing to I ever heard him say, like, basically he would never say it outright because I don't think he believes it at all. But this is the closest I've heard to him basically hinting at this is when we would get an alt season. So
Who is that?
Ben,
Oh, Ben. Yeah. Yeah. I think
I
he
don't remember his last name.
Ben Cowan. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I did listen to him a few times. He did say that. So I think it depends on if Bitcoin can continue. I'm seeing sentiment shift pretty bearish though, but that's just based on my own feed. It sucks for the people that got liquidated. If we're gonna have an alt run right now, get liquidated right
So
before the
harsh.
move,
Yeah.
it is disgusting because why does it happen 5 minutes after markets close? Like the CME closes and then
It seemed very coordinated.
yeah, I don't know how you can get prices like exchanges shut down as well, so I think people couldn't bid for a while.
Last I checked, Coinbase hasn't even commented on it, which worries me that they're not saying anything because they have plans for Monday.
Yeah, and the discrepancy between exchanges was crazy too. Like we're at like 20%.
It just showed like the complete lack of liquidity and the lack of anyone stepping in to even try to arbitrage because no one trusted it. How have you checked it? Like, have things tightened up a little bit?
Yeah, they're back to normal now.
There's not big gaps between big exchanges.
Correct.
Well, I guess that's good because that's a step towards.
Yeah, but it's the craziest thing I've ever seen in crypto. I've been here since 2016.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I mean, I saw the FTX, but I haven't seen anything like this because, I mean, because I was a part of normal equities, I was trading gold and silver for a while, and it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
To be involved with crypto at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
Because one of the bigger things that sucks is like for most people that are looking at this or that have gone through this, is like, why would people from the outside want to step in
Yeah,
after
no, I was
this?
talking about that earlier. Like right before ETFs are launched, they do something like this. Who's gonna?
I mean, I guess they just know, like, if you're thinking about it, you would just hope that they would know that they're about to have the run, and they're able to fund everything super cheap. All these ETFs, they're able to fund everything on a fat discount, and they know nobody wants it. So, and I guess if they know the fundamental reasons behind certain ones,
Yeah,
they know that they can provide the narrative for liquidity to come in, and because they basically, anyone that's been in the crypto market, got a lot of people got wrecked, and then they're doubting themselves, and certainly no one's calling for an alt season. And
correct. Yeah, I know this market has short-term memory, so if it does reverse higher in a month, I think a lot of people from outside didn't even know about it. I was looking at search trends, and I don't see like commenting outside of the crypto world on what happened. Uh,
yeah,
so
I was looking at Bitcoin, and I was trying to delete everything, redrew stuff, deleted stuff, started messing with indicators and different stuff like that. But if I just go back to clusters of support and resistance, I'd say the resistance we hit wasn't any type of resistance that I thought would form a top. Excuse me. So, but also, like, if I'm drawing a pattern or whatever, which I've drawn these and they've worked, and I've drawn these out and they haven't worked, and no matter which way I draw it, depending on what way we tag, it's either a fifth up here and a failed um, broadening wedge or a megaphone breakout, or it's we touch the fifth and then we're about to break down, and then we're able to see if this is just some type of bear trap, and we're basically develop more into support before going higher, or that was it. But it's hard for me because I never have thought that Bitcoin was going to top at 125. I mean, there was once where I was like, screw the most amount of people, and that was my theory, was that we could top at about 120 something. But I've always thought that we at least run um, up towards like 140, 150, and then it seems like the base case of a minimum would be the was it 173, 175 ish. So for us to do this, and I'm just trying to ignore everything that happened to me in the last 24 hours, and I'm
hmm
just looking at Bitcoin's chart. We're we certainly have bearish price action um, above support. Um, it's heavy support. We barely tapped into it, so we certainly can bleed into it more if we need the liquidity. If not, then this could certainly be the lows, and we could certainly continue higher after this. It's just tough, I don't. I think a lot of people that are saying that, I truly believe a small percentage of them actually believe it. I think a lot of them may be saying it because they're going with the plan, which is good in all means. By all means, that's good. But for people, I think the majority of them don't have much conviction.
yeah, I think this killed a lot of people. Like it's totally demoralizing.
Dude, I was following that guy. I started following him recently. Did you follow him? The Great White Whale or whatever his name was.
Oh, I
The guy
just
who got.
saw a post from. I never followed him before, but I saw his liquidation
I've been
post.
following him for probably like maybe a few weeks leading up to this, and then yeah, he was the biggest whale to get absolutely wiped out on. I think it was Hyperliquid.
hmm
I think it was like 60 million.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's crazy.
It's crazy that people could be so good and build up their bag for however many years, doing all the right things, and then they're trading 2x leverage or whatever, however they have their management set up, and maybe they have multiple positions at 2x and have a certain amount of cash or whatever. But for those guys to get virtually wiped is the most brutal reality. Like, I haven't messed with leverage in different ways, and I've understood the risk, but I know those guys. Certainly, how do you even comprehend that kind of risk? You know what I mean?
I know. Well, yeah, it's crazy. I saw it happen in 2017 to some people, but this is way, way different. I know
Is that
this.
when Bitcoin dropped by like 50%?
Well, I saw some guy that traded at 1 Bitcoin to like 500 Bitcoin and then lost it all. Yeah, I've used leverage a few times, and luckily nothing terrible has happened, and then I just stopped. It's not worth it. I've been so close so many times, but I don't know. To me, this market is definitely a casino, and it's like the most manipulated market in the world. And it feels like war. It feels like a narrative war, to be honest. Like, people fight wars over money. If they can get away with something and taking everyone's money, they'll definitely do it. So, I don't know. It seems so inorganic, because it's not like equity's absolutely puked. It's not like there's anything to me that would catalyze a 10x bigger liquidation event than one of the most popular exchanges going under. It just doesn't make sense. It's not proportional to what's actually going on. But yeah, I don't know. I've always thought this is the biggest bubble in human history, the crypto market, and the most mispriced market relative to the future, I think, is likely. But still, I thought we'd need like some type of financial crisis to get a move like that, where everyone's panicking.
Right.
Not in 10 minutes. Like, it happened in like 10 minutes on no news.
Dude, I don't know. That was by far my biggest drawdown in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, probably for me too. Did you just have spot
And
positions, or did you have some leverage positions open?
No, 0 leverage positions open.
Oh, okay.
It's just spot. Yeah. No, it's honestly CRV. It sucks too, because I honestly not the typical pattern that I play, and I am honest that I'm mainly in that because of cred, and I've been monitoring it and able to kind of trade it off and on well and be accurate in my expectations. But when I get hit harder and Litecoin's performing better with it, it hurt even more,
Yeah, I know. That was rough. I think it was one of the ones that got smoked the hardest, right?
I don't know if that smoked the hardest. I know it certainly has recovered the least. Not out of everything, but
yeah, it's kind of sitting at the.
It's
I
brutal.
just
Yeah, I'm
never would.
expecting lower for that. Still,
Yeah.
I gotta expect lower on that.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so I just.
I mean, that's probably how I should do it too.
Can't. Charts, I'm not confident in. Only thing is sentiment versus the macro situation and fundamental strength. But yeah, what do you Cred said his opinion's unchanged, but
Yeah,
I don't even know what you
yeah.
make of that.
I don't know either. I don't know. I'm not putting too much weight on his opinion.
Yeah.
Just try to continue
Yeah, your own.
attempting to figure out what I think. But yeah, I mean, I did pay attention to what he thought about CRV, but I know he basically said structure couldn't break. He said that a while back.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to break, according to his analysis. But yeah, I don't know. When I look up Litecoin, what was it? I looked at this yesterday. I think it was like, because I think you're the one who told me to start looking at this.
Yeah, Litecoin CRV.
Yeah, I mean,
To
this
me, it
would be the
looked
dumb
like
area to. This is pretty much not really the area. Let me pull up on the weekly that it'd be smart selling. But yeah, I should be flipping back and forth my positions based on this. Anyways, yeah, boom. That was that most recent CRV run. Or this was the most recent CRV run where I thought I was like, oh, sick. Well, not really sick, but it did break structure here. And then this was pretty much, CRV topped and then start retracing. And then obviously Litecoin had this big move and has held strength. But technically it could be an area where up here where it would be the opposite where, for me, CRV would catch up versus Litecoin. And yeah, which makes more sense just based on what's more oversold and what's still near the overbought territory, but not overbought by any means. So I'm hoping basically we get some type of retracement there. Let's see.
What exchanges are? I know people are saying like the 108K lows broke, but it was really, this is like such a weird event that on Bitstamp, the oldest spot exchange, it never broke those lows. So how are you even looking at?
I just use the index all the time. If we're talking about Bitcoin, I just use the index, which is basically, it's pretty much takes account for a majority of them, right? Or at least the largest volume ones, and kind of puts them into an average.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And how the index works, the TradingView index?
I don't actually know.
I'm pretty sure that's my impression, that basically it takes in a lot of the different exchanges. I don't know if it's all the exchanges or top 10 exchanges or whatever, and kind of averages out the price. And what did you see? I mean, I'd imagine at the worst, 98K would be probably the bottom for the exchanges. I don't. Did you know of any that went lower than that?
Bitfinex is 103. I thought it was interesting because Binance, you could tell like most of the liquidation. It has most of the trading volume. Most of the alt liquidations are happening there. But Bitcoin rallied to like 120K during that event. Like on that same time frame, where alts were getting sold off hard. But I don't see anything lower than 103K. Binance was 107. Yeah, nothing lower than that. Bitstamp was like 109.
Oh, okay. So 109
is the
Yeah,
longest.
because that's pretty
spot
much
exchange.
Latin crypto. 102.
Bitfinex is pretty illiquid, and it went to 103. Coinbase. Like 107.
I wonder if that is this quarter. This channel. Probably can't even see these trend lines because they're in black. Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. Here, let me see if I can switch this.
But it's funny, on Binance, XRP wicked down to 70 cents. It's crazy.
It's disgusting. I don't know what these fibs are. Sometimes it's nice to just pull up different charts, different exchanges that I have stuff saved on.
Yeah.
And just see basically. Doesn't matter. Let's see what these fibs are. Oh, they're fib extensions off the low. Well, we tapped the 618 on that one. This is basically probably one of the ways that when I analyze like which kind of cycle we're in, whether we're hitting like fib retracement targets or fib extension targets, this was my base case basically for a long time, that we hit the 786 before topping. If you look, what is this, the weekly? Thankfully, the weekly is about to close. If we got, I don't know. I'm being optimistic. Like I know someone pulled up. I saw someone pull up different times we had these mass liquidations in Bitcoin and what price has done after, as far as whether it's filled the wick or ran down. And I think majority of the time it does attempt to fill at least 75% into the wick or whatever. That's not my base case. I think this is a very different situation. And I mean, we broke structure on a lot of alts, but for me, you look, we tagged. I mean, we hit the high here. Let's just go over these fib extensions. Excuse me. We hit the 236 after impulsing up or whatever, and went sideways. And then we ran up to the 50%, and then came down to the 3.8, and it was a nasty little wick. Then we went to the 618, overran it a little bit, and then we didn't quite hit that back to the 50. And then now, same thing where we're consolidating above, and we have ran back to the 618, which lines up to say this is 25% of this channel's total range, and we wicked hard off of it. I don't want to say it's possible, but I'm going to be optimistic to say that I don't know of anyone that's expecting something this dumb, but there is a chance that if we got a weekly close where we came back up to 120, I just don't know how it's possible. But I said it earlier, that would basically make everything look phenomenal again. That would just be basically like, wow, they screwed all of us. And then now we can get back to the game we were playing. But again, it's hard to believe that we do a move like that. But I mean, we certainly tested it. What else should we look at? Let's look at Litecoin.
Yeah, it seems hard. I mean, usually, since I've been paying attention, like 90+% of the time, we just trade sideways over the weekend and kind of open wherever the CME closed the previous Friday. But it says like it closed at 117, 116.9. I think there's
CME?
Yeah, 117. There's like 15 minutes where it wicked down, but the official close says 117, like 116.990.
I guess that's
So I could,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think we could move back up there.
95, basically return to home.
This kind of looks like a symmetrical triangle now on the weekly time frame for Litecoin, forming at least higher low. On the moving averages, it's still above 100.
Yeah, you see it's trying to hold equilibrium, or at least the bottom end range of what you can call equilibrium. Why is it doing that? I cannot get this to land on the wick. There we go. Let's change these colors. What a crushing 24 hours we've had from
I
highs.
know. Yeah, because like it literally in the morning was testing 135. And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe Bitcoin closes around here and we'll trade sideways over the weekend, but at least like going to be around 120 or something, and it can try next week. And then 5 minutes after the market closed, just rips down.
I mean, it literally moved in a way to stop, to just blow everyone. I mean, look at that. Like if I'm drawing, I've been paying attention. This is the channel I've been drawing, right? Paying attention to
Mm-hmm.
the structure. And at least Bitfinex, it ran everybody.
Yeah.
Like worst case scenario, let's run that stop and then reverse. Look at that. And then looking at it on the daily, it's kind of not a big. Look at that. There we go. If I'm drawing fib extensions and fib retracements, there's only one level on the chart that we're near that actually holds the most weight in between the two, and we're shockingly, it's holding the liquidity right now to hold us up. Yeah, I don't know. With Litecoin, for me, I don't think we drift much lower. I don't think we do drift lower than whatever this $90 is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the camp that we fill this wick. And then like the other alt I'm watching, CRV, is basically like right near support. Without, for me at least on Coinbase, without the wick. So for me, alts pretty much ran support, and you can say it ran the nearest. It absolutely screwed everybody and ran that end of the range, and then now we're at the largest support now, and we're pretty much attempting to hold some type of equilibrium. And yeah, for me, Litecoin still looks fine. Like if I was holding all Litecoin, I'd be a lot happier right now, but I'm not. Yeah, I still think it looks. I don't know. It's like those times where I've looked in the past and I'm like pricing stuff out, and I see these retarded wicks, and I'm just like, I look at them like, oh wow, how do you chart that or whatever? How do you play that? Like, what happened when I'm seeing this stuff? And then I finally lived through one where
Yeah, it
it's
looks
hard to
ridiculous.
ignore it on the chart. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. It makes the chart look weird, very strange.
Right.
But yeah, I can't imagine what this does for psychology if and when we do break the range. I think people are gonna have extreme fear, and so if we rip from here over the next 2 quarters to multiple thousands, I don't know how many people would make it.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. It's even the median of the range.
Yeah.
And then we tried to bounce above the 618. And then when we wicked back up, we wicked to there. And then now we're kind of holding. I mean, the wick up to there is good. I like that we got that, because it means that we're more likely, it's less of resistance on the way back up if we do begin to retrace. It'll be temporary resistance, but I wouldn't look at it like, oh, we got to hit that, then head back to the median. Yeah, because outside that, then let's see, let's pull these up. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, if that's not big resistance and we're able to kind of hold over 100 again, 102, then it is pretty much right back up towards that 120, 125. Like, not that much damage was done if we don't fill into that wick and we hold above the median here, which is pretty much right where we're trading.
Well,
it's just brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal. If we get it now, I mean, not much will have changed other than the stress I went through yesterday. It will just basically, I just feel horrible for all the people that got liquidated.
I know, it seems
dirty. It feels dirty that, and it's like, obviously anyone who got liquidated or anyone who's still holding spot, we just, the elephant in the room is that none of us have stop losses in place.
Yeah.
Which is scary, but apparently enough people did. for the amount of liquidity or the amount of money that was wiped on yesterday.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'll just to end it, I guess. Just kind of go based off. We tap the liquidity, and if I'm thinking alts don't, alts look good enough that they don't have to do that, and alts hold, I would say that probably going to hold this 3/4 range like we've been around 110 or dance around breaking down that, but not filling the wick or not rolling back into to say that block of support that I have here. And then obviously after that, the big thing is going to be getting back above 120 for me. I mean, the start is basically getting back up towards 117 or whatever and dancing around. But for me, kind of the line in the sand, it really needs to get back above 120 to look great. And then after that, it just really isn't that much resistance to me. So all this has been kind of confusing. I have different ways of pulling up resistance where we were slapping against that, but I really didn't think we'd have any issues up until say 170 something. 140, 150 or whatever up in here we have some, but yeah, I don't know. The fact that we didn't break and now we have this sideways and we have to go back up, I would say the 140, 150 is actually not even that big of a deal like it once looked like it to me, and now just kind of that move up to 175. So I guess that's the benefit, is that we did wipe all the alts. I don't know. I'd say the big fear then, I guess, is the tie to equities. And I know that it just seemed kind of insane that we dumped, like when Trump released the news about China, and then the response we got in equities, and then for him to basically go back on it and be like, the tariff isn't actually applied yet, right? The 100% or whatever. He just said it. And then he also said like, oh, I didn't technically cancel the meeting with China. And then so what we basically got was stuff that people already kind of knew about, I guess, to some extent, which was what China was. What was it? It was like an import tariff on metals or certain metals. I don't even know what it was.
I don't either.
So far, I think technically it was like a nothing burger. It was just Trump's tweet, basically. And then the timing of that crazy whale that bet all the money beforehand. And
like right at the tweet. I mean, this stuff has been going on for a long time. Even like back last year, where people were, knew about the Trump meme coin launch, knew before he was tweeting and taking positions. I mean, because the market, we have so much debt here overall that, somebody just taking a huge short position and then enough people selling on fear of a tweet or news can cascade everything down. It's so gross that this stuff is happening. It's pretty sad. But yeah, we'll see. I think most people are saying there's like very low odds of a V-shaped recovery out of here. But I don't know, because they said the bounce wasn't fast, but we really started the move down after markets closed, and generally there's like no liquidity on weekends.
Yeah, technically, I mean, it seems like that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I want to see what happens like tomorrow when futures markets open. Maybe Bitcoin can move back up to like 117, and then what happens Monday, or the early part of the week.
I think, yeah, because Litecoin looks still, I mean, it's fine. It just ran that support. And then, what was I looking for before? What price did you say? Did I say like low 90s or 90?
You were saying around $90 looked really good. I think it was because of that mid, like, that middle channel line that you have drawn there. It
Yeah,
was like
just
the
basically
horizontal
middle of the
plus
range.
the middle of the range. Yeah.
Yeah, because it still looks good. We're there and we're holding above. And
Yeah,
I'm
and I just zoom out to the 3-month chart. This is still like an inside bar candle, still within the range. So
yep.
I mean, it looks bullish here. Just looks disgusting on the like daily chart or shorter time
Yeah,
frame.
I mean the fact that we wicked that hard and we've retraced up that much is I just don't see why we automatically got to fill that. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, I'm not in that camp.
I don't either. I think people just look at history, but this is historically a crazy anomaly. It makes sense when there's broader based fear because of something like COVID. Like, so there's so much more longer term uncertainty as to how that's going to play out. And so the wicks get filled, or with FTX, right? It's
Yeah, I mean the meaning beyond this. I mean, I feel like the real shocker is the damage it's done to the participants' confidence, their faith in the system. I mean, outside of and the damage to their gains. Outside of that, I was trying to think like what has really changed? Like what has changed about all our opinions on all of our alts? Any of the fundamental reasons on all these alts? And then what actually caused it? So we were sitting right here breaking out of the range, and then now we're like within a 10-minute or 15-minute candle, we're like having to reanalyze everything, and it just flips us upside down. Like at the end of the day, I don't see what has changed besides that damage and that confidence and that massive wipe to open interest, and they're all typically things that we'd want to see before a move we just wouldn't want to go through, I guess. And I guess to me it has to be the confidence. And I guess isn't that nice to have everyone totally not confident and scared?
yeah, that's usually a bullish signal if nothing macro-wise has changed or fundamentally has changed. Nothing changed
Yeah.
for me because I've always looked at it a different way and not just overlay technical analysis to help gauge when to buy and sell. But yeah, I don't know. I see a lot of the bigger traders like turning bearish after this, like X-Force. Still cautiously bullish, but
Oh, is he? Well, because a wick would just completely wipe his structure, which I don't even know how he. Yeah, because for his, that's so difficult. Yeah, for his counts and stuff like that, which I do understand that, but it's also like this is. I mean, evidently we're at the casino, so.
Yeah, this is an anomaly. I don't know how you even. That's what I was asking you. Like, what exchange you even use, or why wouldn't you just disregard a few minutes where it wicked below on some once in a decade type move?
It's tough too because I draw everything based on wicks, but even given that, and I analyze the chart the same way, and I'm still analyzing the chart the same way, and we just wick to the bottom of this structure here. So the bottom of this ascending channel we're in, which if you're looking at it, you could just say is a big bearish continuation pattern, and I hope that's not. I've always been conscious of that, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'd say I'm optimistic, but like many, I think my confidence in the system's kind of shattered a bit. I think like majority of participants are scouring Twitter, looking for some type of answers. I think it'll take a bit for the dust to settle, but hopefully it doesn't. And hopefully, I don't know. I just don't know what could bring us out of this outside of just a rapid move higher. Because otherwise, chopping around right here at support isn't ideal either. Even though we wicked much lower. We don't want to spend too much time
Yeah.
bodying around here. So
Yeah, if it wasn't as deep or as crazy, it wouldn't have. It's like it's it's weird. Litecoin was holding up relatively well. It was like up 10% against altcoins. It's just when we got to that breaking point where we saw cascading liquidations. It's weird. But yeah, I felt like this whole system is pretty corrupt. Ever since I saw a bunch of people, like it's weird to me that Novigratz's fund company Galaxy is like huge buyers of the bankruptcy estate, FTX. Like they got Solana or the majority of the coins, at super cheap discounts, and then just gave the people who were creditors or basically users on the exchange like the dollar value at the very bottom, while all these hedge funds got the actual coins at a crazy discount, and then they got their money like 2 years later after Bitcoin's like 70 to 100K. Like the way this works and how this market is, it's like people get away with Ponzi schemes and pumping and dumping things over and over again. But the regular people, get in trouble. It's kind of gross. Everything has gone on over the past 4 years. It seems like it's only gotten more disgusting, from my view.
it's the same thing with freaking these stupid little descending trend lines that are just wrecking me. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just all hope we can just impulse right out of here and go against what the majority are expecting.
Yeah, inverse psychology thing. I think it's fine. I don't have any change in expectation. It doesn't change the fundamental view. And I still know that it's really dependent on Bitcoin rallying here at some point, that this fundamental thesis will hold up. Yeah. And we can still get the same exact move we're expecting. I'd say it's better that we didn't grind lower to these prices, which I don't think would even be possible without the liquidation event like that. I think Litecoin would have held up pretty good, right? You have ETF. Well, that's the other thing that's really weird, right? We were so close to getting ETF, and they changed the rules a week before, and then
yeah, I know. Yeah, let's just add it to the list of things, right? Freaking XRP, again, it just ran the nearest fib, which is fine still, and then but it's almost holding the level I was interested in.
Yeah, you were talking about
gone almost
this
right
level.
back up to.
Yeah.
And same thing with Bitcoin. It pretty much, I drew a trend line, or I had a trend line I was interested on, say the worst case scenario. And then that's basically, it popped off of it, and then we had the horrible dump, and then that would seem to be the equilibrium where it came back up and was trading around. It's similar with XRP. I mean, Litecoin, it's similar with CRV, unfortunately, is the absolute. I guess it's similar in its structure, where it's kind of like an absolute support that needs to be held. So I'd say for now, everyone's just kind of waiting, and we've kind of, we're holding the bottom end of the equilibrium if we take out the wicks.
Yeah.
So I don't see, considering that, I don't see why we have to go and fill into any of that, and outside of Bitcoin failing, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm still optimistic. I don't think it's the end, but I'm also somewhat prepared that I just may have not known that it was the end. And Master was right, except he was wrong.
Yeah. Would be a very it'd be interesting, right, to have Bitcoin go into a bear market here, and Litecoin to be in this super compressed range. I don't think, if that were to happen, I don't know how far Litecoin would drop.
Yeah.
Break the low. I think LTC BTC would start trending higher if Bitcoin, a lot of the leverage started coming out of Bitcoin. I really don't know what would happen there, but
I think this kind of proves that pretty much majority of us, outside of into the cryptoverse, couldn't have really foreseen something like this happening. So,
no.
but all right, man.
All right,
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for giving us your updates. Appreciate it. Hopefully
Yeah.
you're all right. I hope you're fine. I think
Oh
everybody.
yeah, I'm fine too. Because this account, it's not my 401k. It's not my, I have an emergency savings. It's not my checking. You know what I mean? Like I am being dumb in my expectations and setup to hopefully make good gains this cycle, but I'm not. I have never set myself up to get wiped out. This is why this is just crazy. I would not have expected it to be down whatever that was, like 50% in 15 minutes. But I guess this is the casino we're in.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thanks again. Appreciate it. And,
Yeah, let's hope we could just act like none of this happened and carry on.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see this coming week.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right. See ya. Take it easy. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Later.
Bye. All right, guys. Thanks to Nick. Everyone's feeling the same emotions. It like just makes sense and it doesn't make sense. Always aware that this is a casino and that I think it eventually blows up the whole thing. But to happen on no real catalyst at a time when funding rates aren't overly excessive and when there's not much broader interest in crypto is weird. It's gay, very gay. And also just like seeing the liars succeed in these pump and dumps. Huh. On and on forever, this scam market. W Nick, yeah. Run it up, Anthony. Yeah. Freedom money, what a joke. That's true. Like we're right at the middle of this range. Right at it's almost 3/4 of the way through this now triangular looking structure. If we do end up making this, which I think we will, everyone will deserve it by then. Fuck. It seems like manipulation. It's always so hard to prove. You can't prove it. But I know most of these things are manipulated to the upside. We know that. Swede dumped to like 0 on Binance. I was just hoping we'd see some of the memes and random tokens that will eventually go to 0, like just get cleaned out and some of the stronger fundamentally sound cryptocurrencies would hold up. So we could just weed out and get capital concentration into what will actually be valuable long term. Arthur knew. I don't know. He did exit his positions thinking to get lower. Is Arthur pumping Zcash too? Let's read Crypto Haze or Arthur's essay. Skim through this. What's he trying to say here? I've said this a lot. Like, there's always this recency bias. But if you don't understand the reasons why something has happened in the past, you're gonna miss why it will fail. That's what I say about Litecoin a lot. I see. He's basically just saying like inflation is going to go higher because of the monetary policy of China and the US. Bitcoin continues to rise in anticipation. I just disagree with, like, Bitcoin's not seeing any sort of meaningful monetization. Yeah, I think that was the explanation. A lot of people had cross margin alt exposure, and I'm hoping on this time frame we can hold here against alts and then try to break out again within the next few weeks. Let's look at Zcash against others real quick, see what it did. This has been
You thought scarcity would save you, but scarcity without use is a prison. You thought value came from price, but value comes from function. Block space isn't infinite, and neither is trust. Block space crisis, windows gone. Used to move, now just hold on. Say it's digital gold, fine, but don't call it money if I can't spend. Block space crisis, chains.
alright guys. I just popped back on here to talk with Nick, but I'm gonna head out again. It's been a while. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming. And yes, LTC84, nobody deserves face melting gains like the strongest fundamental coin and the most likely next, well, already the next Bitcoin chain. Alright.